From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The Stewart Creek 2 wildfire continues to burn and fire officials expect activity to pick up over the next few days.
Prior cool and wet conditions did allow the firefighters to penetrate into the fire. However, the fire has been burning in a, quote, mosaic pattern. This means the 85,475-acre fire still has areas of unburned fuels inside of the fire perimeter. Fire crews are still focused on the areas in the northwest, north, and northeast perimeters with active fire. 5 miles of suppression repair have been completed in the southwest perimeter with an additional 20 miles left to complete. 11 crews are currently working the fire with 2 additional hotshot crews expected to return from days off. Facilities and access to the Chena River Recreation Area remain closed from mile 27 to 39 on the south side of the road.
Alaskan volunteer organizations and the state are working with community volunteers to provide supplies and tools to the 2013 spring flood survivors. People that would like to assist the survivors can call 1-855-374-4790 to donate items. The public is reminded to confirm a need before donating to a volunteer organization supporting 2013 spring flood survivors. During a major disaster, receiving items that are not needed becomes a burden to the community. Unneeded items will not be transported but will be donated to an established Alaskan charity.
The number of interceptor missiles at Fort Greely could rise beyond the level announced earlier this year, depending on threats from other nations. In March, Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel said the Obama administration had decided to increase the number of missiles at Fort Greely to 44 in response to actions by North Korea. By last week, the director of the Missile Defense Agency, Vice Admiral James Syring, told a U.S. Senate subcommittee that number could go higher as the department evaluates the threat from Iran and other nations. Syring also was questioned by Senator Lisa Murkowski about the progress toward the expansion at Fort Greely, including the restoration of Missile Field 1. Syring said contracts for work could be released this summer.
A small plane with 7 on board collided with a fishing boat yesterday. According to Alaska State Troopers, the collision occurred as the aircraft, a Cessna 207, was taking off from a lake. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating the cause of the collision. No one was seriously injured in the incident, which left the Katmai Air floatplane shortly submerged in the Naknek River in King Salmon, about 285 miles southwest of Anchorage. Troopers say the 3 people in the boat were thrown into the water and the plane flipped over. 2 of the Cessna passengers and a boat passenger were taken to a nearby clinic with apparent minor injuries. Now, the news center has also received reports from multiple sources at the Harding Lake area that there have been issues with boats and other recreational water vehicles there. Now, during the Stewart Creek 2 wildfire, many boats were reported to be in the way of the aircraft attempting to fight the blaze.
2 elderly Yupik speakers and 2 tribal organizations have filed a federal lawsuit against Alaska, saying state election officials have failed to provide language assistance at the polls as required by federal law. The lawsuit was filed Friday, naming Lieutenant Governor Meade Treadwell as a defendant. Regional election officials in Fairbanks and Nome were also sued. The lawsuit, filed by U.S. District Court by the Anchorage office of the Native American Rights Fund, says the state is violating the Federal Voting Rights Act by not providing ballots and voting instructions for speakers of Yupik and its dialect in Hooper Cupik. The plaintiffs say the failure of the state to provide language assistance suppresses turnout amongst Native voters.
The Greater Fairbanks Chamber of Commerce released today its official rubber ducky race results. According to the chamber, the first place yellow duck wins $10,000. The second place winner will receive a boat package, and third place will receive a Yamaha scooter. As for the pink duckies, first place will receive $5,000 cash, second will receive a wood pellet stove, and third place will get 2 round-trip tickets from Alaska Airlines. The top 5 ticket numbers are 7174, 7955, 3111, 6946, and 1218. You can also check out Greater Fairbanks Chamber of Commerce online for the official results.
All right, when we come back, a spokeswoman for Governor Sean Parnell says he continues to support the so-called Stand Your Ground law in Alaska.
And it has been a record-breaking season for Mount McKinley climbers. We'll tell you about that. Those stories are next. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. The national discussion of the George Zimmerman verdict continued Sunday across the country with a number of rallies and protests. News Center 11's Monty Bowen reports on one that was held right here in the 49th state.
50 people showed up yesterday at the rally that was held in Anchorage. This one sponsored by the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Dana Nichols of Florida was visiting Alaska when the verdict was announced.
When the verdict came through, we were here, we were outraged.
Emotional about the outcome of the case, she joined the rally.
It just made us both heartbroken and wanted to protest, but I'm here and I'm not in Florida. If I was in Florida, I'd be protesting.
The Stand Your Ground law was a main theme.
The one thing that has come out of this tragedy, now we have this huge national dialogue that we've been afraid to have. Is this a law that we really want in Alaska? Is this a law that we really want across the nation? I would suggest that the Stand Your Ground law probably advocates more violence than it's meant to stop.
Florida's Stand Your Ground law is similar to a mandate that's written into Alaska law.
It's just important to me that we speak out against the Stand Your Ground law in support of Trayvon. I want to change legislation. I want to change the way the government looks at situations that promote violence.
The NAACP says Sunday's rally was meant to continue and promote a dialogue that started thousands of miles away in a Sanford, Florida courtroom. Monty Bowen, News Center 11.
A spokeswoman for Governor Sean Parnell says he continues to support the so-called Stand Your Ground law in Alaska. Now, Sharon Lehau says Parnell's position hasn't changed since last month when he signed legislation allowing for use of deadly force and self-defense in any place a person has a legal right to be. At that time, Parnell said Alaskans' way of life depends on their ability to carry firearms to defend themselves, provide for their families, and live freely. That's a quote. That law takes effect in September. While citizens protested in light of the George Zimmerman verdict Sunday in Anchorage, no such plans have been made for a Fairbanks rally at this time. The News Center spoke today with Pastor Joe Blackburn of Mount Pleasant Baptist Church for his take on the verdict, one he says was, quote, wrong.
I feel that the verdict was wrong. I don't think that I feel that he shot this young man, and said that said that Zimmerman was defending himself. So what if Trayvon was defending himself, and Zimmerman was following him after he was told not to follow him, and the young man lived in the neighborhood, headed home. That is a fact. Could have been your son, daughter, my son, daughter, friend, could have been me.
It has been a record-breaking season for Mount McKinley climbers. According to the National Park Service, the weather conditions have been ideal for climbers, and this year so far, 787 people have been on the summit of the largest mountain in North America. This, according to park officials, is the largest number ever. The previous record of 775 was reached in the year 2005. Climbers this year have held a 68% success rate. One of those successful teams this year was from the United States Army based out of Fort Wainwright. They managed to summit the mountain in just under 3 weeks and were the first Army team to do so in over a decade.
This is the first time that we've had 100% success rate ever, and it's due to the hard work of every person on the team.
I think overall it's a pretty surreal experience, starting with an idea and then coming through the conception of all of the training that we went through, and then just seeing it through all the way to the end. Every step we took going up the mountain, it got closer and a little bit bigger with every step we took, and then finally getting up top, it was pretty breathtaking up at the top, and then just seeing all the ability that was on all the young soldiers was pretty amazing.
Governor Sean Parnell was in the interior last weekend for a number of events, including the annual Governor's Picnic held Sunday at Pioneer Park. Now, despite some rain, beautiful weather largely dominated the day as the governor, first lady, and members of his cabinet were on hand serving hamburgers, hot dogs, and other picnic goodies to the thousands of Alaskans that attended. There was also live music and dancing. Organizers say the annual picnics are a great way to meet the governor and other high-ranking state officials in person. Plus, it doesn't hurt that the picnics are free to the public. The governor also held a similar event in Anchorage and will host one each in Juneau and in Homer this week.
Governor's picnics are great. This community is so warm, so welcoming. I brought my commissioners. We want to just demonstrate our service to Alaskans. So we're out here serving burgers and dogs and just experiencing a great Alaska summer day in the Golden Heart City. We live in a great land. We certainly have great people, and we're thankful to be a part of this great state.
So, Joe, what's going on in sports today?
Oh, well, we're going to recap what happened on Saturday night, the final night of WEO.
Yeah.
WEO.
Awesome.
Yeah, everyone.
How'd you like that?
It was great. I mean, people from all over. There was a contingent from Greenland there,
Right.
and even a volunteer from Switzerland.
Have you ever seen sports like that? Competitions?
Not at all. I was amazed, and everyone there witnessed a new world record as well. And you will too. You're going to see that. Also, we have some local soccer. A team bringing home the bacon. That and more after the break.
Good evening, Fairbanks, and welcome back into our broadcast. Mike Schultz is off enjoying a much-needed vacation, so I am filling in, bringing you all you need to know in weather. Let's start off tonight with our almanac as shown on your screen. Today, the normal high remains at 72 degrees, which is above what we are, and the normal low is at about 52 degrees. The record high for today was 88 degrees and was set in 1968. The record low for the day was 32 degrees and was set back in 1928. Now on to sunrise and sunset times. Each day, we are now losing roughly 7 minutes of daylight. Sad, I know. Then the sun rose at 4:19 a.m. and will set this evening at 11:35 p.m., giving us a grand total of 19 hours and 16 minutes still. That's pretty good. All right, now we're going to take a look at weather around the state for today. Conditions around the state looked pretty good, with mostly sunny skies here in the interior, as well as temps in the 70s for nearly all of the state consistently, with a cool 59 degrees in Barrow. At the west coast of Alaska did have mostly cloudy skies though, but it doesn't look as if they had much in the precipitation department. Now, as we said earlier, these sunny and hotter conditions will continue in the interior, and the fire activity is expected to pick up, so be careful out there, Fairbanks. All right, now it's time to slide on down to the lower 48 and check out what they have going on there for their Monday and beginning of their week. Let's start off on the East Coast because, as you can see, they have had some serious thunder and lightning storms on top of their consistently hot temperatures. That makes for some dangerous conditions. As for the rest of the country, hot temperatures in Salt Lake, 100 degrees, 95 degrees in Las Vegas, and 75 degrees in Seattle. Time now to take a look back here in Alaska for our forecast for tomorrow, starting off in the northern region. Partly cloudy skies can be expected in Fort Yukon, rain and fog in Barrow, and a cool 40 degrees, and then cloudy with rain in Nome, a cool 58 degrees there. As for the interior, nice temperatures, partly sunny, and temperatures consistently in the mid-70s. Now over to the southeastern part of our state, mostly cloudy with rain and temps can be expected there in the low to mid-60s. All right, now we head on over to the southwest. Not much better for them. Cloudy with rain and drizzle for all areas, temps in the 50s, except for Kodiak, up in the high 70s. All right, lastly to the south central parts of our state. They look a lot nicer with mostly sunny skies in their forecast and highs in the 70s. Let's get a look at our forecast for the remainder of the night. Highs will be in the upper 40s to low 50s with partly cloudy skies, pretty calm. As for tomorrow, our skies will remain partly sunny with temperatures in the mid to low 70s. All right, and let's get a look at our 5-day outlook. It looks like we can expect some rain on Wednesday, temps in the low 70s. And then pretty much throughout the week, it'll be cloudy, partly sunny, and 70s across the board with lows of 50 at night, mid-50s for Wednesday and Thursday. But hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, I will too.
Hey, you know, when Mike's away, a forecast like that is perfect.
Right?
You know, nobody gets
but
mad
we
at
do
you
miss
that
Mike.
Oh, sure.
Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me.
Right on. Nobody could with that forecast. It's great.
There you go.
All right, that'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we're glad you could join us.
NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams is coming up next.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webster11.com.
Okay, from all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a great night.